Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
I am so excited about this episode.
Oh, me too.
Ever since we had this idea, I was like, nothing is more relevant than this topic, which is a very tricky Christmas.
Get your walkers, get your strollers.
Get your diaper bags packed.
Let's go to Auntie Florence's for the holiday. Everybody in the car. Let's go.
Oh,
Who
man.
can relate?
I sure can.
Welcome back to the Sandwich Generation Pod. I'm Robyn.
And I'm Eliesa. And today we're diving into a topic that brings out all of the emotions. The joy, the stress, the casseroles, and the passive-aggressive comments. That's right. It's the holidays.
Oh, the holidays. The magical time of year when you're simultaneously spoon-feeding your toddler sweet potatoes while explaining to your mom that no, she can't drive anymore, and even if she thinks her bifocals are still sharp, she still can't drive.
And let's not forget the sacred family tradition of hiding in the bathroom just to breathe for 5 minutes. Today, we are talking about a very tricky Christmas when you are in the sandwich generation. So let's get to it.
L'chaim.
Okay, that's actually a great way to start this episode because we are of two different religions. You celebrate Hanukkah, I celebrate Christmas, and here we are representing today. Because no matter what holiday you celebrate, it's full. It's very, very full when you are sandwiched. It's full anyways for those who are not. But when you are sandwiched, it's an extra layer of trickiness to make the holidays magical for everyone. Oftentimes we, the ones in the middle, are in the middle the whole time, right?
Yeah, we're responsible for the magic. We're also responsible for the logistics of like, okay, dad's walker, we got to put that in the trunk. Do we have room? Because we have the stroller back there for the two kids. Oh, do we move the car seats? This is just actually getting everybody to the holiday, okay? Which might even be your own house.
Absolutely.
It is an experience, but we do it, and it's amazing.
Oh my gosh. So getting everyone to the house or to wherever you're hosting is an event in itself, is what we're saying. Can we talk about that? Like, we generally have learned that we have our holiday early to midday because everyone's energy is the best.
Yes. So like what time?
I mean, we shoot for like maybe even like a 10:30 arrival.
Oh.
11. Like it's early. It's early.
Is this Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
You know, it's fluid. Our
Okay.
family is very fluid.
Okay.
Really depends. And I've always felt very happy and lucky that my family is not beholden to one specific day. So we just kind of work around each other's schedule. But last year it worked out where we had Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at home, just our little family. And it was awesome.
Glorious.
It was so great.
Glorious.
It was so great. And I mean, Alma was so new. So we were really protecting that time and space. But it was so wonderful to just have those 2 days really low key. And then we went elsewhere, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a week before Christmas, sometimes it's a week after, but there's not one specific day, which honestly, like, we all need to be flexible.
This really, by the way, tripped me up because the Jewish holidays are on a different calendar. They run on the lunar calendar. And so they're always different days. Last year, I think it finally made sense to me that Christmas is always on the 25th.
Sure is.
It's always on the same day. I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? It's always on the same day. I was like, so what day is Christmas this year? And people are like, it's the 25th, Robyn. And it will be until the end of time. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know, sometimes it just takes me a minute.
You know, that's okay. Welcome.
Thank you. To the other side. Well, and we do now, I am married to someone who's not Jewish. So now we do it all. We do all the holidays.
I think it's really cool. I was going to ask you that. Do you celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas all on different days? Or do you celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah together with everyone?
Funny you should ask. Normally, I usually will host the Jewish holidays. And then my amazing mother-in-law, she does Christmas at the cabin. And it is everything you would imagine and more. It's magical. She's magical. She creates magic, like in the traditional sense of the word, like the lighting, and she has all the hors d'oeuvres. They have the traditions. She's a great cook. and she's a great baker. She has all the special like decorations for Christmas, like napkins and towels. And this is a whole new world to me. I'm like, wait, where does all this stuff go when it's not Christmas? This is crazy. So there's even children's books she puts out
Oh, yeah.
during Christmas. Like, my mind is blown. Like, we literally have a menorah and a dreidel, and maybe I buy something from Target that says Happy Hanukkah, and that's it. But I do want to just tell the story because one year there was a blizzard during Christmas, and Hanukkah and Christmas were like back to back.
Okay.
And my in-laws were staying with us because there was a blizzard and there were health things that had happened. And so my in-laws were staying at our house. So I think it was Hanukkah that happened first. So they were there. It was a Friday night. It was Shabbat and it was Hanukkah. So my parents were coming over and my in-laws were not supposed to be at my house, but they were because of the snowstorm. So they just happened to be there. So I was kind of like, hey, we're going to do Hanukkah and Shabbat. I hope that's okay with everybody, you know? And they're like, of course it's okay. Yes. So my parents come to my house and we're doing like Hanukkah Shabbat. And it's like we've got all the lights out and everything. And it's so beautiful. And Rod and Sony, my in-laws, were there and they they were like, yes, this is your tradition. And they're so lovely and embraced it. And we did it all together. And then they're like, it's going to be Christmas in a couple of days. Do you think your parents would want to come back? Because, and also it was like, also, do you mind hosting Christmas at your house? Because we can't go to the cabin. And so it was crazy. I called Micah, my brother-in-law, and I'm like, yo, give me the 411. What do I do here? How do I do Christmas in my house? We don't have a tree, but like I can recreate all the other stuff. And Sony was taking care of her husband in the moment, so I didn't want to bother her. So me and Micah whooped up Christmas at my house. But it was so funny because it was like we were stuck in the same house for like a weekend where we did Hanukkah. And it was like my in-laws were in the background and they became part of it. And then it was like they invited my parents back for Christmas. And my parents were so excited to come. And it was really the most beautiful commentary on how both of our families, which by the way, were not super keen on the whole interfaith situation. Both families had aversions to it, had done a 180, come to the center, come to the table for their grandchildren, for their children. And they like each other. My in-laws and my parents like each other. And it was just a beautiful way. And it was also multi-generational. There were a lot of Diet Coke orders and a lot of wheelchair maneuvering, walkers, because also my father-in-law. So, I mean, it was the works. Okay. It was the works.
A lot of shuffling and meeting
all the demands. But it was so rewarding because we got to do it all. So
I love that.
It
What
was
a
a
great
good one.
year that must have been.
It was all unexpected and all super great.
It also sounds like a great plot for a Christmas movie. Like it really does.
Yes. And I want to date the guy in the flannel because he always turns out to be the good guy. My friends broke it down for me. They're like, the guy in the suit's always evil and the guy in the flannel's always good in the Hallmark movies. And my husband is like the guy in the flannel. So,
I mean, I'm kind of serious about this. This is a really great plot for a Christmas movie. Like knowing your family, knowing all these, it's kind of a cast of characters already that you have built in. It's kind of great. I don't know. I think it's a win-win. Were the holidays for you growing up, were they a magical experience? Is that a solid core memory for you? Is that you want to recreate for your children? Or did it feel like not a big deal?
That's such a good question. You should be a podcaster. It's such a good question. I love the holidays because Barb Frank, as many of you are getting to know here, my mom, she was a great cook. And she was all about the tradition. I always knew how important it was to her. And she really was the one who carried it on and had all the enthusiasm behind it. And she made it so special. My grandma Jean would come for Passover and it was such a major event. It's like 3 days before they're planning. They're making grocery lists, which I think is so funny because literally it's the same meal every year, but they got to talk about it. Like they got to have a discussion about it. Who's making what? When are we going to peel the out? When are we making the haroset? Like,
so how did they have time for this?
I don't know.
This is my question every year when I want to do that. Like, I want to have a full week of like space to plan this shit. How?
Well,
I can't. Like, I cannot find a time. Every year I try to protect it. And
yes.
every year it is gone.
Me too.
I don't know.
Me too. And we live in a different world. I mean,
That's
I'm
true.
Instacarting this shit. I mean,
Yeah.
like, they talked about
Push it
going
to
to
be easier for us.
Byerly's
Yeah.
for like 3 days, and they made so many grocery runs, and I'm like Instacarting it.
Yeah.
So it's so different. But I just love, I remember them talking about the meal and how they were going to execute it and what they were going to buy and how many times they were going to go to the grocery store and who's going to run the errands. I loved all of that. The drama, the pomp and circumstance of it all. Like, I am here for it. Like, I love it. I love it. And so, yes, I have a lot of positive feelings around the holidays. I love the smells. I love the traditions.
Yeah. I think we hold on to that nostalgia of the holidays too, right? It was a magical time in our childhood. I think when you come to the middle age, it is now like the torch has been passed to us to carry on the traditions or the family meals or to host. I don't know if your parents ever were like, okay, we're done. Peace out. We're checking out. Did they ever do that? Or did it just kind of naturally
I think
happen?
every year my dad would try to be like, no, we're not doing that this year. No, 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 Barb. We're not spending the money. We're not having people over. And then like a day later, she'd be like, okay, well, we have about 25 people coming and I'm going to get the brisket. And he would
Yeah.
lose every time. But yeah, he tried.
So
Why do you say
Christmas
that?
for our family was it was more than an event. It was a full season. And
Before you say any more, if you're listening to this, but you're not watching it, Eliesa is in a full elf costume. Let me say it again. She's in a full elf garb costume,
am.
hat, everything.
I am has a little bell. So my mother sewed me this elf costume. I don't know what age. I must have been in elementary school. I've had a few elf costumes over the years because my dad was Santa growing up. And when I say that my dad was Santa, like he was Santa for the small town that we grew up in. He was Santa. Like he was the Santa at the mall. He was the Santa that would show up to community dinners, and he was the Santa that would be hired for private events. So Christmas was a whole season for our family. And still a tradition even this day for our family. And my parents explored different religions over their years
Oh,
too.
really?
So yeah, they did. So their like personal connection to Christmas kind of like ebbed and flowed from a religious aspect, I should say. But from a Santa perspective, this is a character. This is a part of my like childhood and my just life. Like I just grew up with Santa. My dad was Santa. That was it. I don't know that I like believed in Santa because he was always my dad. Like I always sort of had that discernment. Like, and maybe I'm forgetting some years when I was very young, right? My parents could probably clarify that. But
And
my
you
dad
were
has
the-
always been Santa. And then I was the elf. And so I would go along, and because frankly, Christmas was kind of a working holiday, if you think about it, for our
But
family.
how did this start? How did he become Santa? He volunteered?
So my dad is a character. Like he has always been a character. He is a character. Anybody who knew me growing up would remember two things probably about me and my family. One of them were that my dad wore wooden shoes my entire childhood, like Dutch wooden shoes. They're
Yep.
called klompen.
Okay.
He wore those as his regular shoes.
Yep.
The whole town could hear him coming from a mile away. Like, we're not Dutch, by the way. He just wore them for a reaction.
This whole time I thought you were Dutch.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So my dad wore wooden shoes, and that he was also Santa because he was the Santa and he was always around. And every year his picture or our picture would get published in the paper because Santa was out and about. It was news. So we went to a lot of people's homes, and my dad would do a whole bit of, they would like leave presents wrapped in the garage in a bag, and we would all load them into the Santa
No way.
bag, and then we would come in with a big bag full of presents. And
No way.
my job was to hand out candy canes to everyone.
Oh my God, this is
Like, yeah. And then, but it was great too because he would volunteer at community dinners. And so, like, Christmas Eve, I mean,
Did he get paid?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yes and no. So there were certain events that he would show up for that were totally volunteer.
Yeah.
Right. And then he would get hired like privately to come into the family Christmas of people's family, and like all of a sudden Santa would show up with a bag of presents
And
and
an
it was
elf.
an elf, and it was a whole event for their family. When I started getting in like middle school age, I was kind of like, oh, because like all the kids had grown up, so like all
And they knew you.
yeah,
Did they know
knew.
you? So they'd be
Yeah,
like,
they for sure knew me. So
what's up, Eliesa?
then there I was in the awkward elf costume, handing out candy canes, slightly too old for it, right? Where I was like, hey, see you in middle school. See you in the new year. And I was like, I think maybe I'm done. So I don't remember what age, but it was somewhere in middle school where I retired. But I still have all of my little like tunics. I would dress up, and
you are such a cute elf, by the way.
Thank you. My mom was
You've
Mrs.
still
Claus
got it.
for a while too. So it really started as like my dad's thing, and then my mom joined in as being Mrs. Claus for a few years. So it was a whole family event. The three of us would go out. I mean, it was like the Johnsons. That's how we Christmased. Is like
That's how you Christmas.
We would work and like spread the joy of Santa and Mrs. Claus and the elf around. And so yeah, Christmas for me was a very interesting experience because we were also on the job. Like it wasn't just revolving around our family. My memories of Christmas are being out and about in the community or out and about
so interesting
with other families.
You're not carrying on the tradition.
No, but a tradition that we have carried on is that every year my dad will put on his like Santa jacket and hat, and we do a Christmas photo with my dad in his Santa jacket.
That's amazing.
And even through these years where he's been aging, there have been some years where he was in like transitional care, where he was in the hospital. We would bring his Santa jacket to the hospital and come in for a visit on Christmas Day and like make sure we got the picture. So that is a tradition. That is, you know, there's always a moment where my dad puts on his Santa jacket and hat and does his thing, you know, and that's kind of cool.
Which is interesting because I think one of the reasons we wanted to talk about this too is because if you kind of like take a slice of time from when our parents were in their prime, I don't know about you, but I think of my mom during the holidays. Those are like prime moments for how I see her.
Yeah.
She's in the kitchen. She's running shit, right? She's running the holiday. And it was really like a moment for her. I think when she would feel the most capable and proud, and when I would be the most enamored with her too. But I think what's interesting is as time goes by, the changing of the guard when it comes to holidays is very interesting. You know, I remember when I realized, oh, like I'm up. It's my turn to host, because my parents were not in a position to do it anymore. And I knew it was up to me. And I remember being like, how the hell am I going to do this? And I was like, okay, Mom, I need to make the brisket, which is always like a big deal in my family. Like the brisket, it's just fall off the bone, like melts in your mouth, you know, like the way people talk about my mom's brisket. And I'm like, what am I going to do? That's what everyone's going to be expecting. Yeah. So my mom, this was actually when she was starting to sort of show signs of dementia. We didn't totally know what was going on, but I was like, I need to get verbatim, because I didn't have a recipe.
Right.
So I was like, I need her to stand here and I'm going to write down exactly how she makes it. Yeah. This was like, I think almost 4 years ago that we did that with the brisket. And I am so grateful because I don't think we could do that today. And now I'm so glad I do know how, because I literally make the same things that she would make. And I have like all of the recipes, and they all have like food on them, and they're in a little file, you know. And I actually inherited all the recipes from my grandmothers too. I think both my parents were very proud. They were kvelling, as they say in Yiddish, like so proud to see me doing a holiday. Anyways, it's just like interesting evolution, what our parents once did during the holidays and how they participate now. And it's so connected to my mom's dignity, about how she shows up for the holidays. And my dad too, like during Passover, someone always leads Passover. And my dad always did that. He always led Passover. And he still very much wants to do that when it comes to Passover. So even though he can't totally, we want to try to make him feel important during that time, because there's something about the way people, especially in my parents' generation and probably my grandparents, the way people come to the holiday, the way they show up at the holiday is like very important to who they are and their identity.
I think we're also trying to hold on to parts that we can now in this time of aging because what they want to do and what they're able to do are two totally different things, right?
Yes.
But like you said, there are ways of incorporating these small things. And I try to carry on a tradition of making lefse.
Can you tell us what lefse is?
So lefse is this like potato-y crepe situation. It's Norwegian.
All the Minnesotans make it.
It is. My grandma, my mom's side, would always make it, and she would make lefse and she would make butterballs. And butterballs were these cookies, probably very similar to a Thumbs cookie. I remember them being very dense and very buttery, but then she would roll them in either red sprinkles or green sprinkles. She would also make poppy seed biscuits around the same time, and they were like a yeasty biscuit roll with a poppy seed filling in the middle. And those three recipes are our family recipes, or the family tradition. And so I have all the lefse stuff now. But when you make lefse, it is an explosion of flour, an explosion. And then when you have the elderly with their walkers and you have the children who just want to throw flour everywhere, like it is, your house needs to be like dusted and vacuumed 10 times over.
Or wrap everything in plastic.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole thing. And so now I understand why people do this in church kitchens or in public spaces and not your home, because it really is like a big to-do.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hey, Santa! You made it to the podcast.
Yes.
Can you put your iPad a little like more in the center of your face? There you go. And then a little up. There you are.
Who can't relate to that, by the way?
Yes.
Put your face in the frame. Santa, thank you so much for coming. Hello.
Yes.
Wow.
Remember that outfit?
I was just going to say, are you surprised by what I'm wearing right now?
Yes.
What age do you think I was wearing this elf costume?
I think we were in junior high.
Yeah? Yeah, so maybe this is one of the last ones or something. I thought it was more
Yes.
like elementary school, but I'll take junior high too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe with all the demands that you must have right now that you were able to make it here. Santa's so popular.
Santa, can you turn off your TV in the background?
Sure. I thought of that earlier.
Perfect.
I'm very impressed on how he uses technology to get on.
He did great. You did great.
Santa's so tech savvy.
I just
Here
have
we
to
go.
remember to keep my thumb down.
There you go. There you go. So we were just reminiscing a little bit about our family tradition of you being Santa and how big of a deal that was around town. But how a lot of our Christmases were rooted in the fact that you were Santa and we were out and about.
About country, cities, different cities, community dinners.
How did you become Santa in the first place?
This one gal I had dated, her younger sister had a couple of children and wanted a Santa. So I got a suit. Then the following year I got a wig and beard.
Wow.
Santa's bougie.
He has the whole suit on. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's got boots with bells and the whole 9 yards.
Wow. That's
Yes,
amazing.
I got, so
Yeah.
I'm walking, they early start ringing.
So what do you love most about being Santa?
Seeing the kids and hearing what they want and seeing the joy in their life.
What has it meant for you to be Santa to your grandchildren?
Just to see their smiles on their face. I know I have to get the two girls' pictures on my iPad.
Yep. Yep.
And I think you had fun.
I did have
with
fun.
some of
Yeah.
the kids and seeing what they.
Yeah, it was great. Well, that's awesome. So, on the year that you were sick and in the transitional care unit that year, do you remember when we brought you your Santa outfit so we could still
When I was in rehab.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. I remember that as being like a very good but emotional Christmas for all of us, of course. But how did that feel to you to still keep the tradition of your Santa picture?
I look forward to getting the picture taken
Yep.
and having you guys around.
Yep. That's what it's all about, right?
Yes. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas podcast.
There you go. There you go. Love it. Well, thank you, Santa. Do you want to
Okay.
wish anyone a Merry Christmas before we go?
I hope everybody has a good Merry Christmas and an enjoyable New Year.
Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Bye. Love you. Oh.
Wow, what a treat. I mean, how good did he feel to be included?
He felt really good. That was great. Yeah.
Like, Dad, I want you to put your Santa costume on and be on my podcast. I'm sure he was like, I'm famous.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've made it.
I called him this morning and I was like, hey, are you around today?
Cutest Santa I have ever seen, if I might say so
Yeah.
myself.
And
Very handsome. And so I think we really cannot underestimate like how important it is to carry on the traditions, because having our children connect with our parents through tradition, like that's so powerful. Also, some of the traditions can be overwhelming and we can say goodbye to some of them
yep, totally.
if they do
Pick
not
your own
serve you
fun.
any. Pick your own fun. We're the head of it now. We're in
yeah,
charge.
Exactly.
We're in charge.
We
That's what this
we
episode
get
should be
to
like.
choose now. Yeah.
We're in charge of the holidays. Okay. This is my house.
Yeah.
Which is actually like that what I was talking about, that Christmas Hanukkah that we did, that Chrismukkah that we did. I remember being like, this is my house. This is how we're doing it
Yeah,
today. Because
yeah.
I'm in charge.
Yes,
You know, and
yes.
I said that to my dad and I said that to my father-in-law.
And we get to say that now because it is
Yes.
true. It is our time.
It's
It
our
is
time.
our time to shine. We get to make the rules.
Yes.
And, for better or worse, they might not always like it,
Uh-huh.
but that's okay.
Because
That's okay.
this is when we also get to wield our power,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And all that being said, I feel like we wanted to try to figure out, like, if you're in the sandwich generation like us and you're about to embark on the holiday season, what are some of the things that we can do to, like, if you are the parent that's doing all of the things, how can we break this down and make it a little easier for you? So we have a couple of tips and tricks, right?
We do.
Deep breaths is the first one.
Okay, a 2-car rule. This is a good tip. One that our family has had to absolutely embrace because of car seats, walkers, sometimes wheelchairs, definitely a cane, and a Santa suit. So
This is if you're traveling to someone's house for the holidays.
or even picking people up
Yeah.
to bring to your home.
Which this starts like an hour and a half before,
At
right?
least, At least. I mean, if
The holiday starts
yeah.
when all the pickups happen.
We're a family who loves to travel together. Like Nick and I will always want to travel in the
Us
same
too.
car together. But when it comes to the holidays, it's trickier on one hand because it feels like people are going in different directions. But it's also been easier because I'm driving my parents. It's allowed me to have like some connection time and conversation with them along the way and maybe talk about some things that the kids shouldn't hear, right? And then when you're with the kids, like you're with the kids, it's actually been kind of nice to like separate the conversation.
Okay, I will say if you're opposite and you're all in the same car together, my son is getting old enough where he wants to help now. This is something I've learned from other parts of my family, but like getting your kids to help with tasks that might seem like more work to let them help, but it's so important to teach them how to help and they get excited about it. You know, so now my son likes to get out and help with my dad's walker, like
I love that.
taking the walker from him or giving it to him when he gets back in the car. Also, we play I Spy in the car now with all
yeah.
generations.
Yep.
I Spy, if you're looking for something to do with everybody in one car.
That's a good one. Okay, so if you're in one car, have some games ready. Let the kids help. Get everyone in. Everyone buckled up. Holiday music.
Uh-huh. Everyone's
Create
dressed
a
up
vibe
in their
and go.
holiday best,
Yes.
right?
If you're in 2 cars, just take the time. Like, prep like you're camping. I love this because you're packing all the things for everyone when you are sandwiched.
Diapers, meds, snacks, chargers. I love that. That's cute.
It's true though.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm packing extra clothes for the kids. I'm packing extra clothes for my parents.
Yeah.
I'm packing snacks for everyone, water bottles all around.
Okay, this is a really good tip for like, let's say you are hosting the meal potluck is so great to have everybody bring something. Anything you can do to like buy cut up vegetables. It might be more money, but it'll save you time and sanity to outsource a meal or simplify it.
There are certain years where like you do not have the capacity to make the meal.
Yeah.
Outsource it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're like
Order that
failing. It doesn't mean that you're like letting go of tradition. Some years, as we're dealing with possible health crisis or a different situation with your family, like it's okay to do things differently year to year. Sometimes, especially in the Midwest, we are so beholden to these like Midwest traditions that people feel like they can't possibly do without them, but then it's actually adding more stress.
Yeah.
Like there are amazing restaurants who have menu items available to cater. I mean, the grocery stores here, they go all out. There are some good sides. There are shortcuts that you can take. I actually think that that's a great tip that I might think about this year. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love that. Okay.
Love it. Schedule some downtime.
Yeah.
Put some breaks for yourself in the calendar. This is one that gets away from me that we did really great at last year, though, and now I get it.
Realistically, how do you escape? Like how do you remove yourself?
I'm not talking about like when it's the day that your family is getting together.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's no downtime.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
No, there's no downtime.
Because I was like, oh my God, how do you do that?
But I think around the holidays.
Sure.
Right? Like last year, and maybe
season.
it was because we had a newborn, but we really protected Christmas Eve, Christmas Day time.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It felt cozy. It felt slow. We weren't rushing around to all these other places. And I know that's not everyone's reality. But if there's any time that you can protect during the season, I highly recommend it because now that I've gotten a taste of it, it was so nice. It was so nice. And we felt so connected in our immediate family that it allowed us to, the time that we did have with our extended family and our parents and stuff like that, that also felt more connected to them because we weren't stressed or burnt out on the holidays yet, right? Like, because we had a good 24 hours of this is just ours, and it was nice. It can be so simple. And I think choosing, in the moving episode where we talked about instead of taking the whole collection of things, you choose one or a few things. I feel like that's, in theory, what I would like to do with the holidays too, is like not do everything because there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so many events, there's so much activity, there's so many holiday parties and people that want to see you. But I think being really mindful and thoughtful about like what things really matter and like just focusing on those few things and not trying to do it all allows for space to then be spontaneous because like who doesn't love if it actually snows to like go out sledding that day,
right?
But if you're like bogged down with plans, you can't do that. Or like if making Christmas cookies or lefse is like one of your holiday traditions that you really want to do, then like make time for that. And all those things require planning, and it's like easier said than done. But like, I know if I'm going to embark on that, that's a huge day of like undertaking that will probably feel hard and awesome all at the same time. But I think if I think about guilt, it's like long gone are the days for me when there's expectations because too much has happened, frankly, that it hasn't gone to plan. And it just kind of is like, okay, whatever. I want it to be special. I want it to be mindful and thoughtful and magical, but I'm also not interested in being burnt out anymore. And I think because I have been so burnt out for things that were out of my control in certain years, starting my parents' health specifically and like trying to be everywhere and do all these things, that was a lot and that was too much. So I think I just remember that.
Well, I think it's because I do think that's like one of the main feelings that comes with the holidays for a lot of us. Also, they're external like people and things that can make you feel guilty, like, social media and your parents. So what I was thinking when you were talking too was I really like the idea of taking ownership of the holiday because this is our time. Like you said, this is our time. So you can really set the agenda in your mind and maybe even for all the people participating. If you have parents or in-laws that make you feel guilty, there are polite ways to say, thank you so much for your input. This is now at our house, and this is how we're going to do it this year because we're under our roof. And I'm so glad you're here. And shut the fuck up. No, I'm just kidding.
Happy holidays.
And happy holidays. But no, I do think it's okay in your mind to say, these are the things I'm choosing to do. I love that idea of like, I don't have to do the whole list of like, this is what my mom used to do. This is what my dad used to do. This is what my husband's family did. I like the idea of saying, okay, we're going to choose what I have the capacity for, or what we have the capacity for. And I'm going to let that shit go, whatever guilt I feel. And I'm going to remember that like my kids probably just want to spend time together. Like, hopefully they're at an age where they understand like we don't have to do all the things. We're going to do what we can do, and we're going to spend time together, and we're going to make it special.
Yep.
And to reclaim that this is yours, you know?
Yeah. I think we're the ones that overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, right? Like,
I think both. I think we can, and I do think that like I feel lucky because I don't feel a source of guilt actually from my in-laws or my parents, but I know a lot of people do. And
Sure.
so I think that's a very real part of the holidays for people, and I think it's hard to deal with.
boundaries.
The B word.
Merry
Yes.
Christmas. I'm setting boundaries this year.
Yes.
And now for today's To Laugh or Cry.
Okay. So I'll just like paint the scene. So we were invited, me and my parents and my kids were invited to my friend Tammy's kids' bar mitzvah. So
Right, fun.
lots of people. Okay. This was a big bar mitzvah, like packed at the synagogue in the social hall. So there is kugel flying. I mean, it is packed. It's like a lunchtime situation, and everyone is just so excited. There's probably like 300 to 400 people. No joke. It was big. Okay. Well, me and my husband are both there, and we're trying to manage my kids, who at the time were like 2 and 3. We're trying to keep track of them, and my parents. So we lost Dolly somewhere along the way, but we were like, she's somewhere in the synagogue. It's fine. So finally, my mom's, barely eats, but we get her a plate. And then my dad like tries to go get a plate because he's worried they're going to run out of the kugel. Right.
Course,
So
yes.
my dad's very motivated by food. So he gets his own plate, which was kind of a miracle, and he's making his way back to the table. And we're looking for Dolly, but we've got Oz. We're like, okay, we're doing okay. We're going to find Dolly. And then all of a sudden, my dad is standing in the middle of the social hall, packed with people. He's got his plate, and his pants go down to his ankles.
No.
Yes.
No.
I mean, and I am
Oh, no.
across, I'm far away, but I see him drop trow, and he looks at his plate, and he's like, there's no way I'm going to drop this plate. I've worked so hard to get the food I want. And I swear to God, my friend Mindy, who is one of my friends since we were 3, she's standing by my dad. She sees what happens. She calmly puts down her own plate, bends down, and pulls my dad's pants up. And he literally, they have a moment. She looks at me. We lock eyes. She nods. I'm like, I fucking love you. And my dad moves on with his day, sits down, and starts chowing down on the food. No fucking, did not miss a beat. And I was just like, holy shit.
Amazing.
This whole social hall just saw my dad's fruit of the loom.
Those moments also are like, whoa, Mo. That's amazing. That is a good To Laugh or Cry. And that is a laugh. And now back to the show. I want to take a moment to talk about buying presents, because
I love that.
in our family, specifically with my parents, they're on medical assistance. They do not have a lot of money. And, they miss being able to go out and go shopping and buy gifts for their grandkids. And so that's kind of been a little bit of a pain point, I think, for them. I don't know if they would admit it, but they are collecting ideas along the way. My mom has always been a big sewer. So this year she has been working, probably for the last year, on sewing a gift for Florence that is along the lines of dress up vibes. And it's going to be great. I think she's really going to like it a lot. It's like a little cape, and it's very cool. But that's been something that's like really hard. What I will do to help them through that is I will set a dollar amount or something like that, and I'll tell my mom, like, pick out something online and then I'll pay for it, but it will be from you. That's the way that we've gotten around it. But I think that brings up a lot of grief for them, because they can't go out shopping or get the things that they might want to, just because of the place that they're in financially. And I think around the holidays or birthdays, I think that does get hard for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's totally something that happens with my mom and my parents too. Yeah.
So that's tough to see. I think that's tough for them to feel. And also, I remind them and I remind myself, like, at the end of the day, it's not the stuff that matters, right? But part of what they want their experience to be with their grandkids is giving them gifts. So, you know, that's something that is tough. I don't have a perfect answer for that or a perfect fix or a perfect solution, but that's something that every year we kind of have to acknowledge.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's definitely a thing. So my mom loves gifts too. And she's not necessarily big gifts, but it's little things. For instance, on Mother's Day, all she wants to do is give me flowers and chocolates. So we have some people that will take my mom ahead of time to like Target or, you know, somewhere where she can get something so that she can present the gift because that is so important for her. But now me and my sister, similar to what you said, we tell my mom, okay, we'll get it for you. And then we do actually, let's say the gift arrives. If it's on like Hanukkah or Christmas, especially, or even birthdays, we hand it to her and then she hands it to the kids. And that's really, for her, that's enough at this point. But I do think it kind of ties into like all the things we're talking about when it comes to the holidays. You know, these, you know, whether it's them participating in making the meal or organizing or giving a gift, they're little gestures, but they really add up to like their own self-importance. And so I think they're creative ways to do it and they can be very small.
Yep, totally.
But I do think they're important if you have the capacity.
Yeah. There is a woman in the world. Her name is Aijin Pu. And Aijin is a woman who I think is one of the greatest activists and leaders like of our time. I could fangirl her like on and on and on. She is a president of the National Domestic Workers Alliance, and she's the director of Caring Across Generations. And they are an advocacy organization for caretakers in the U.S. They do so much work when it comes to like policy and change for our whole country when it comes to caretakers. Anyways, Aijin has this quote that aging is a part of living. And she actually recently posted about it. And I think when we're talking about the holidays and all these traditions and the craziness and the chaos, including our parents or the grandparents or the people who are aging alongside the grandchildren and ourselves, it's like we are all together. I feel like so many times people just write off people who are aging and that they're unable to do things or it's hard and it's difficult, and all those things are true, but it's also so much a part of their life that they are still here for and that they look forward to, and that is the whole point. That is the whole point of being a part of a family. That is the whole point of everyone still being here together. That is the whole point. It's okay to know that the very tiny moments of connection are actually what matter. So if that is sitting next to each other watching a Christmas movie, that's okay. Bring on the screen time. You know what I mean? If that's where everyone is at.
Totally.
If it is, pre-buying gifts and giving that little moment. If it is, you know, making food super soft so everyone with their dentures and those babies who are just learning how to eat can all eat the same meal, then that's a win for everyone, right? Like,
yes,
that's real. That's our menu this year, you know. But I always think about that quote, that aging is a part of living, because we're all actually aging.
Another thing I wanted to say, I remember growing up during the holidays, one of my favorite things was when the family started to talk about the previous family and stories. And because we are in the middle, can run the conversation a little bit. Like I said, we're in charge. So like we run the meal, we run the schedule, and we can run the conversation. And one of the really great ways to maybe avoid like weird comments or whatever is it's really, really a fun time to ask the questions like, hey, what was Grandma Jean like? What did she make? You know, what do you remember about her? Or I'll bring up a story. Like I'll tell Oz and Dal, like, hey, you guys, I remember when I was growing up, we would get ready for this holiday and we would make, like, Grandma always let me make the haroset and she would let me grate the apples because, we don't know our family stories as well as we should. And the holidays are like the perfect time because we can see our parents and people that are older, they light up when they can tell stories from the past.
They're also so nostalgic. It's like such a nostalgic time.
And they're keepers of the stories. Yeah. Everyone's an audience when it's the holidays. It's the perfect time to talk about the people that came before us. So, and the other thing that I like to do, I love old pictures. And we have them all. So I actually bring them out and I put them around my house when people come over because I know it'll get someone talking and they'll be like, oh, this is so-and-so. And then my kids are getting to that age even now where they're like, who is that? Who's that? And they're starting to make the connections and they're retelling the stories that we tell them because they're sponges right now. And so it's a really great way for people that are older to feel really important telling stories. And I learn something new every single time. So that's a really fun way, I think, to
that's a good idea.
Get everyone engaged.
Yeah. I like that. I also like talking in general if somebody is having like a hard time that holiday, if they're feeling like a sense of loss, to not sweep that under the rug.
Yeah.
Like give them the opportunity to talk about that because, again, some years everyone's okay, everyone's in good health, everything is joyous, that's awesome. And other years can feel difficult. And so allowing space to also just have that conversation and acknowledge it, because I think people can feel very lonely sometimes.
Totally.
When you're in a room of expectation, like I'm supposed to be really happy right now and I don't feel that way. It's okay to talk about that.
Well, and I think what we can all agree on is that the holidays are just charged emotionally. Yes. They just are. Yes. It's like, yes. If you're having a feeling, it's coming out at the holidays, right? Like, if you're feeling stressed, if you're going to cry, you might feel them all in the same hour, in the same half hour, like they're coming out. And I think that's why we wanted to talk about the holidays too, because they are just a sieve of like, everyone's got the feelings and they're all in one room. And how are we going to manage the walkers and the feelings?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I really do think that it comes down to like the experiences and the people and the food. Food is a big highlight for everyone.
Oh, the pressure's on. Pressure's on my family.
For Nick and I, like that is a part of the holidays that we love the most too, is cooking. He takes a lot of pride and he's such a good cook, but it's a lot of work in the middle of having everyone there with all their requests, different times that they want to eat and like everything, between the feedings and the naps and the medication.
Okay. And I just want to mention for me, the drama of the matzo ball soup. Okay. So there's just an obsession with the matzo ball soup in my family. Is it too salty? Were there enough parsnips? Is there enough flavor? It all hinges on, okay, I'm warming up the soup. I've been making it for 2 days. It's such a big deal. The onion goes to my dad that's been in there. We take the chicken out. We make chicken salad. It's a whole thing. Yes. And we pass out the soups and it's ceremonious because like it's hot. And so everyone's getting served and it takes 2 people to like someone scooping the soup onto a plate that, in a bowl that then is served and people are ordering, I want carrots and celery. I just want carrots. I want 2 matzo balls. I want 1 matzo ball. And then come the reviews in the very moment in real time. Like my dad takes the first sip, right? And it's like, I am literally in the middle of the chaos. I'm waiting for, this is delicious.
And then you've done it.
And then I can take a breath and everyone else can eat. And then comes the commentary. Who made the matzo balls? Who made these? I made them, Dad. They're tremendous. The carrots are a little mushy. And then chimes in someone else. It's very good. It's not too salty. I can taste the parsnips. I can taste the carrots. Oh, whose recipe is this? Who made the brisket? Then it's all about like, who made it? How did you make it? The obsession, but it's like hinging on my dad's, right? Like,
I mean, I kind of love that. I kind of love it all.
You have to come and experience
I would love to. I would absolutely love to have your matzo ball soup without judgment. I will just enjoy it. It would be lovely.
It's pretty damn good. Not gonna lie.
It's great.
And my matzo balls are very fluffy.
So fun. Okay. Well, I think 2 things that we can maybe end with. I think a great piece of advice is to say yes to help. This is something that throughout our sandwich generation caregiving journey, it's hard. It's tricky at every turn to ask for help, to know how to ask for help, to know what to ask for help with, to know what to say. And specifically during the holidays, I think it's great to lean on other members of the family to do certain things, to maybe delegate with that takeout for certain sides, to just pick a few things you're going to be really good at that you feel like you have capacity for, and just know that the simplest things are what matter the most. And so when we want to pack our calendars with very big days, how can we do things differently? We're in charge now. That's a theme of this episode. Is
we're in charge.
We realized we're in charge now. This is our time.
This is our
to
time.
Lead the show. We get to make the rules. Everyone else is along for the ride, the young and the old. So let's do it our way, right?
Let's do it our way.
Let's do it our way.
It's going to be great.
And always with gratitude. Because if we are here, that's all that matters. If our people are here, and even if they're not, like acknowledging their presence, telling their stories, remembering them, you know, that's a big part of it too, I think, for listeners is the hardness of when someone is no longer with us, and yet they're always here with us. Right? So with that,
I'm excited for the holidays.
I know. Me too.
I love the chaos of it all. So if you're out there this holiday season juggling sippy cups and pill organizers, you're not alone.
We see you, and we are you. We are cheering you on.
So remember, the love is in the chaos, and the gravy covers everything.
We want to wish you a very happy holiday, Sandwich Generation.
Thanks for tuning into the Sandwich Generation Pod. Be sure to subscribe, share with your fellow caretakers, and maybe leave us a 5-star review. We're running on coffee and validation over here.
We'll see you next time. Bye. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully you can take away some helpful info and tips. All links and resources can be found in our show notes.
Please share this episode with anyone you think this might help. And if you have a topic that you'd like to talk more with us about in the Sandwich Generation world, please slide into our DMs on Instagram. Our handle is @thesandwichgenerationpod. We hope you'll be back for more convos with us soon. And remember, no matter whose diaper you're changing, you're never alone.
That was great. That was really good. All right.